Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Sometimes I like to rewind time. I like to go back and look at when Josh Heupel first showed up at Tennessee. We were at rock bottom, especially when you're talking about a year where you're 10-2 and you got a shot at the college football playoff, and people are not happy. People have seemed to be miserable throughout the course of this season, and that's with a 10-win regular season. Those don't come often. We've not had that happen since Philip Fulmer was fired. So I think we need to not take things for granted, but sometimes I like to rewind time, go back and look at when Josh Heupel took over this program. Rock bottom, mass exodus of players into the transfer portal. We're talking about a 6 to 7 year rebuild, but I think using the transfer portal and being effective in the transfer portal, but also NIL has kind of sped up this rebuild. Plus, I think Josh Heupel is a good football coach. I love Danny White saying, hey, I tried to do everything I could to not hire Josh Heupel, but he is the guy for the job. And you look at the success that Josh Heupel has had in the portal with adding guys that have been contributors to this football program, guys like Brew McCoy, Keenan Peely, even John Campbell. Say what you want about John Campbell and his penalties, his false starts, his, he's going to get a 15-yarder every now and then. We saw it at the end of the year against Vanderbilt, taking that cheap shot late, protecting his guys, defending his guys. But John Campbell, say what you will, he's played a lot of football for Tennessee. Omar Norman Lott, McCallan Castles, Andrej Karic. Did you think we were going to be sitting here hoping that waiver would go through so Andrej Karic could come back in 2025? Dante Thornton, Jermod McCoy, the best defensive back on this football team, came through the transfer portal. Jalen McMurray, Jacoby Thomas, Jackson Moy, the list goes on and on and on. Miles Kitzelman, Chris Brazel, Lance Hurd, Holden Stace. Those are some pretty good additions. So I think Josh Heupel, I think this coaching staff does a great job evaluating talent, knowing the needs of this football program, and going into the portal and not only getting the guys that are good culture fits, but also going to be good contributors for this team. So what about guys that we've lost? How many guys have we lost that you've sat back and said, man, that one stings, that one hurts? It's not been a lot after the mass exodus of guys that were allegedly involved with the Jeremy Pruitt stuff. After that mass exodus, not a lot of game changers that hit the portal, guys that wanted to leave, guys that you necessarily wanted to keep. Last year, what did we lose? 6, 7 defensive backs? I said on this channel and told you guys, we just lost 6 to 7 defensive backs that you all criticized, that we criticized, that I criticized all season long. So why are we in panic mode? This coaching staff says we're looking for more speed and more athleticism on the back end, and that's what they did. They went into the portal and got it. And then this season, I think our secondary was a lot better than many people expected it to be. Josh Heupel just isn't really losing guys that we have to have. Bison Lane, Khalifa Keith, Caleb Webb this season, and now we've got another guy entering the portal. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but as always, do me a favor, do that YouTube stuff, smash the thumbs up just below the video. It is quick, free, and easy, and it helps this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're not journalists. We're not reporters. We don't pretend to be any of that stuff. What we are is fans, diehard, psychotic, passionate fans. We react. We respond. We speculate. We see message board rumors. That's what we do. We do what fans do. For the fans, by the fans. If you like it, make sure you subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. Here's the next casualty. Redshirt freshman cornerback Jordan Matthews has announced his intentions to enter the transfer portal. Only played in 2 games this season. Registered 4 tackles in his 2 years at Tennessee. Came in the class of 23. And I know a lot of us, we get excited, right? We stargaze. We like 5 stars and 4 stars. We like to comment on videos and say 3-star you if it's a 3-star prospect. But that class of 23 had a lot of hype around it. You had Jordan Matthews. You had Christian Conyer. You had Ricky Gibson. Matthews and Gibson, both highly rated 4-star guys. Christian Conyer was one of the top players out of the state of Kentucky. Now Christian Conyer has transferred to Coastal Carolina. We see what Ricky Gibson is doing. I know Jamal McCoy gets a lot of talk. Ricky Gibson is playing good football for Tennessee as well. Jordan Matthews actually the highest rated of those 3 corners. So in that class of 23, Jordan Matthews was the highest guy coming out of high school. He was a 4-star corner, ranked inside the top 150. And let me put it in perspective, because I know sometimes we get too excited about recruiting, about stars, about rankings, and they do matter. I'm not trying to devalue that. Like, we're much better off landing a guy like David Sanders, landing a guy like Lance Hurd. Look, more times than not, a 5-star is going to play out better than a 3-star, but it's not always spot on. It's not always accurate. It's not science. It's not science. Just for some perspective here, Jordan Matthews, again, a 4-star prospect coming out of high school, inside the top 150. Who would you rather have on your football team, Jordan Matthews or Jermod McCoy? I know the answer. I don't need to wait. It's Jermod McCoy. Jermod McCoy was a 3-star. So Jordan Matthews ranked inside the top 150. Jermod McCoy was a 3-star. He was the 1,415th best player in the country, according to the On3 industry rankings. Rivals.com actually had Jermod McCoy as a 2-star. So who would you rather have on your football team going into the 2025 season? Would you rather have Jordan Matthews, the 4-star, the top 150 guy, or Jermod McCoy, a guy that's proven it on the field? I'm just saying, just to put things in perspective. But Jordan Matthews has declared his intentions to enter the transfer portal. So where does Tennessee go from here? What does the secondary look like in 2025? Because you're looking for some of those young guys to come along. And we've seen that from Ricky Gibson, right? Ricky Gibson worked his way into a starting job in this 2024 season. So your starters are going to be the same as of right now. Ricky Gibson, Jermod McCoy starting on the outside. You added Jalen McMurray via the transfer portal last year. He's played a lot of football this season. So I think he's in that too deep. You know, Tim Banks wants to rotate guys. He wants to play a lot of guys. So you got McCoy, Gibson as your starters. You got McMurray in that too deep. Who's that fourth guy? Who's that fourth corner that can step up and make a play? You got some young freshmen on this team that played a little bit in the 2024 season. Not a lot. Marcus Gorey Jr., a 3-star out of Bradley Central. He's a guy that I had the opportunity to see play in person, and I was impressed, man. It was great going down there and seeing Boo Carter. Marcus Gorey Jr. is a player too. So how far can he come between his freshman and redshirt freshman season? Only had 1 tackle in the Chattanooga game this year. Caleb Beasley, a 4-star out of Nashville, Tennessee. He's a guy that played in 4 games this season, registered 4 tackles and 1 pass defended. I think he could be that guy. We saw him get a lot of run early in the year. I think Caleb Beasley may be that guy that steps in as the 4th man here. You got 3 incoming freshmen, all 3-star prospects in the class of 25. Trey Poteet, Dylan Lewis, Tyler Redmond. I don't expect any of those guys to make an impact as a true freshman in 2025. So is it Caleb Beasley? Is it Marcus Gorey Jr.? Or does Tennessee look to add a corner in the portal? That's not really been a talking point, not really been part of the conversation. It's been more about the interior of the offensive line, the interior of the defensive line, maybe a wide receiver, maybe a safety if it's the right fit. Do you look to go to the portal to find that 4th corner in the 2 deep there on your defense in the 2025 season? Again, going back to the top of the video, I trust this coaching staff. They have been very, very successful going into the portal, and that's why when you go back to early signing day, and a lot of you guys, Coach Rice too, saying, yeah, I get it, we're 10th in the country, but we're 7th in the SEC, and that's just not going to cut it. That's not good enough, and that's why I say, look again. Look at the guys that Josh Heupel has added in the portal that have been contributors, right? The Omar Norman Lotts, the McAllen Castles, Brew McCoy, Jacoby Thomas has an opportunity to make a big impact going into 2025. Miles Kitzelman, Lance Hurd. I mean, just so many guys that they have plugged into this team that have been contributors via the transfer portal. So I trust this staff to go evaluate, plug holes, right? Plug holes, fill gaps, fill needs, and roll into this 2025 season expecting the same thing. SEC championship, national championship. That is the goal. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it again. How many guys have we had success with coming in the portal, and how many guys have left and entered the portal and you've just been like, I don't really care. They're not really an impact player. Best of luck to Jordan Matthews, wherever he ends up. Is this a processed out type of deal? Is this a looking for playing time type of deal? We don't ever know the ins and outs behind the scenes, and that is a good thing. That speaks to the culture that Josh Heupel has created at Tennessee. Do me a favor, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. You can go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We've got the Coach J, You're Muted shirt. We've also got Talkin VAWLS State Pride 2.0 in a camo hoodie. You asked for it. Bonfire delivered it. Go check that out. The link is in the description below. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. This show does not exist without your support. So we appreciate you guys that support us financially. You can hit that join button down there for just $1 a month, or you can give a little bit more. You get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But if not, hit the thumbs up because that's quick, free, and easy. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it because this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.